President. One of the most abused visa systems in our current immigration system has been the H-1B non-immigrant visa program. This is supposed to allow highly skilled laborers who work in fields that Americans don't work in to come into the United States of America. What this proclamation will do is raise the fee that companies pay to sponsor H-1B applicants to $100,000. This will ensure that the people they're bringing in are actually very highly skilled and that they're not replaceable by American workers. So it'll protect American workers, but ensure that companies have a pathway to hire truly extraordinary people and bring them to the United States.
We need workers. We need workers. We need great workers. And this pretty much ensures that that's what's going to happen. I think, Sean, do you agree with that?
Well, they're $100,000 per year. So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies.
The H-1B visa was enacted in 1990, and the purpose of it was to provide foreign workers who are non-immigrant to be able to find jobs based on the skill set that was needed at that time. And some of the requirement was they need to have a bachelor degree or higher education such as doctor, PhD. And they can only stay in the United States for about 3 years or extend their stay for about 5 years. And annually, the United States was basically giving out around 65,000 visas throughout the world, depending on the country that they find to be, I guess, population has a higher education or higher skills than the one here in the United States. So far, many of them stayed in the United States, and some of them didn't go back. Now, this executive order will put a lot of pressure on a lot of companies that's hiring a lot of H-1B visa workers, because now they will be fined $100,000 annually for basically hiring a lot of H-1B visa workers and not American. This is a great opportunity for a lot of Americans. Now it provides them an incentive to now go look for jobs that a lot of immigrant or foreign workers are doing. Because some of these foreign workers, they're specialized in skill set that a lot of Americans are probably not even interested in. Because most of the skill set ranges in the STEM programs such as science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and many more. So let's see how this will go, especially for a lot of people here in America who are basically unemployed and looking for a job.
Will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers? They have to pay the government $100,000, then they have to pay the employee. So it's just not economic. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land. Train Americans, stop bringing in people to take our jobs. That's the policy here. $100,000 a year for H-1B visas, and all of the big companies are on board. We've spoken to them about the gold card.
They love it. They love it. They really love it. They need it. Go ahead, Sean.
Mr. President.
You know, this is a great opportunity for a lot of Americans to be able to look for jobs, especially in the skill set that a lot of H-1B1 workers have. Now, the question is, how many Americans have the skill set that most of these H-1B1 visa workers have? I don't know. But when you take a look at our educational system, you know, kind of makes you wonder, like, there's probably not a lot. This is why the U.S. government be going out in foreign countries trying to pick out the best and the brightest mind to come and work here in the United States. Prime example is like Albert Einstein. We talk about him, how brilliant he is, how he created an atomic bomb and many other things, but he was not an American-born citizen. He was a German. So the U.S. went there, and if I'm not mistaken, with the Operation Paperclip, where they gained all this knowledge from all these scientists from Germany, brought them to the United States to be able to help out with the industries, with many other things that the United States needed at that time. So my question is, would this really help out? Would most Americans be able to basically do the same type of work and the same type of skill set that most of these H-1B visa have? I don't know, because our educational system is basically not in the best shape compared to other places in the world. It got to the point where President Donald Trump himself was trying to get rid of the Department of Education because he realized most of the kids who goes to school, they are being indoctrinated. And the school is not teaching them the things that they need to be able to basically work in the labor market and even the job market. So when you look at the education system here in the United States, I always try to look back at how it started. There was a man by the name of John D. Rockefeller. The Rockefeller family is a powerful family here in the United States. A lot of people probably know about them because they're involved in so many things, in so many industries, in the finance world, in the education, in the Department of maybe defense, and so much other department, agriculture. They're all in it. But back then, around 1900, John D. Rockefeller, he was, if I'm not mistaken, the richest man in America at that time, and probably the richest man in the world. And he owned a company called Standard Oil, which is broken into pieces today with, I think, ExxonMobil, Chevron, Shell, and many other gas station or gas company that we see here in the United States. But at that time, he funded and he was influencing the educational system because he had the money to do that. And one thing that he said was, I don't want a society of thinkers. I want a society of workers, because he wanted to influence the educational system for the kids that are growing up to be indoctrinated to the point where once they're turned the working age or 18 and older, they can go straight to the warehouse, go straight to the assembly line, and go straight to production. Because at that time, they need workers. They don't need thinkers. Now, fast forward to today, when we look at the college, most of the university here in the United States, most of the people are basically indoctrinated. I remember when I was going to a university when I was in college, when I started off trying to be an engineer, I had a course inside an engineering department. And when you walk around the engineering department, you will see a lot of foreigners. And if you see a white person, there's a high likely chance that this person is either European or like an Eastern European. When you see like a black person, there's a high likely chance that this person is probably like African or Caribbean or just the African American. But when you look at how many Chinese, how many Indian were in those departments, it was shocking. There was a bunch of them. A lot of Asian and a lot of Indian were in those departments. And when you go to other departments such as sociology, such as history, such as gender equality, gender studies, and many other departments, you will see a bunch of American, white American, and even black American that's mostly focusing on those type of degree. So most of these H-1B visa foreign workers, their focus is mainly on STEM-based degrees, such as science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Now imagine if President Donald Trump basically got rid of the H-1B visa permanently. It will put the American economy in a lot of trouble, because when we look at the Silicon Valley world, you see most of their CEOs, some of the CEOs are a bunch of foreigners. So it will be very interesting to see that happen, but I'm glad that he did not decide to get rid of the whole thing. But hypothetically speaking, let's hear this professor basically explain if the H-1B1 visa program was basically eradicated, taken off, how would the U.S. economy be like?
The United States has the worst educational system known to science. Our graduates compete regularly at the level of third world countries. So how come the scientific establishment of the United States doesn't collapse? If we're producing a generation of dummies, if the stupid index of America keeps rising every year, just watch network television and reality shows, right? How come the scientific establishment of the United States doesn't collapse? Let me tell you something. Some of you may not know this. America has a secret weapon. That secret weapon is the H-1B. Without the H-1B, the scientific establishment of this country would collapse. Forget about Google. Forget about Silicon Valley. There would be no Silicon Valley without the H-1B. You realize that in the United States, 50% of all PhD candidates are foreign-born? At my system, one of the biggest in the United States, 100% of the PhD candidates are foreign-born. The United States is a magnet sucking up all the brains of the world, but now the brains are going back. They're going back to China. They're going back to India. And people are saying, oh my God, there's a Silicon Valley in India now. Oh my God, there's a Silicon Valley in China. Duh, where did it come from? You removed the H-1B visa and you collapsed the economy. In Wall Street Journal, editorialized against a congressman who wanted to ban the H-1B, saying they'll take jobs away from the American people. The Wall Street Journal said, look, there are no Americans who can take these jobs. These are at the highest level of high technology. They don't take away jobs for Americans. They create entire industries.
This executive order is one of the promises that he made when he was running as a president to basically, deal with immigration here in the United States. And it's part of his immigration policy. So I salute him for actually trying to, fulfill his promise. But I'm also glad that he did not get rid of the H-1B visa program, because the impact that it would have had on the U.S. economy would be drastic. Now, company will have to think twice before they really hire a H-1B visa worker, because now they will have to try to go find American workers, U.S. workers that qualify for those positions. And if there's ever a H-1B1 in a company, they have to be a higher skill set, meaning they don't have to have a bachelor no more. They probably might have to have a doctorate degree or even a PhD, so which is much even harder to find. So it's a huge incentive for a lot of American, especially a lot of American that's complaining out there, I can't find a job because most of these foreigners are taking my jobs and this and that. Most of the foreigners are taking their job. They can't find jobs because a lot of companies are just hiring a lot of foreigners. This is a great opportunity. This is a great chance that the president actually has provided for a lot of U.S. citizens out there who are basically complaining that they can't find jobs because foreigners are taking all their jobs. Now, for the one that have a higher skill set, the one that have bachelor degrees in the skill set that's needed by this company, this is a great opportunity for you to go apply for those jobs, because now companies are put under a lot of pressure to hire you guys by the president. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. Till next time.